Welcome to your magic moon message. This is the Peace Dealer. Moon is in Cancer. The sun is in Libra. We are going to kick off this 270-degree angle to the sun that I believe is in the third decan. If not, it's coming out the second decan, meaning third decan, it's in the last 10 degrees. So, we're going to have the moon now make a Capricorn signature, which is the cool thing about Libra season, with which it flips everything on its head. So unlike Aries season, where the Capricorn signature for Aries is the moon in Capricorn, Aries season, for Libra season, it's going to be the moon in Cancer. That is now the Capricorn signature. In that, now, of course, this would suggest individually we feel success in a much more objective, collective sense, versus socially, we want to feel that everything is aligned. We want to make sure we're at home and with the family, with the people who we trust to balance and partner with. That is a Spark Notes version that kind of oversimplifies the real psychology behind Capricorn being the 10th for Cancer. But another way to look at it, of course, unlike Aries, the individual, where family is the fourth house, right? We have for Libra, society, we have now legacy being the fourth house. We now have, of course, this organization and control collective. Whereas now the individual Cancer is that 10th house. For Libra risings, on Libra suns, this is going to reference individually defined success that aligns sincerely. All right. If Aries is authenticity and Capricorn is integrity and Libra is balance and fairness, well, Cancer is sincerity, to feel what it is you really mean and mean what you really feel. Hence, this being harvested and completed through integrity and authenticity. Capricorn and Aries. So, yeah, this is beautiful. You are feeling the completion of these superpowers. This will be beautiful for those of you who have been developing superpowers, because you're going to feel its completion. And then for those of you who don't like the whole superpower awakening thing because it just sounds too pseudoscience to you, then understand that relative to the social awareness, you will be updating every year, 6 months worth of developing individuality and nuance in your character through Aries and Cancer lead into presenting and demonstrating 6 months worth of character development socially towards others. So now you are completing what that feels like to now, relative to another updated year, to develop that. One thing I hope you've learned through this is to not fold to stupid, weak ass bitches and just useless idiots who really can't form their own opinions and must give in to whatever peer pressure there is in the moment, because God forbid they actually form their own logic. And I don't know, maybe have an unpopular idea or two, God forbid they piss off, the collective social overlords because they really don't have balls, or an ovary, you know what I mean? They don't have anything to stand on, so they don't want to really piss off other people. Yeah, God forbid you live in life out here like that. You're not going to make it, even past the 2 days, talk less of this next round of the Hunger Games, where, people like that will be fed as fodder for lunch. Not trying to make this more militaristic than it needs to be, but shout out to those of you who really don't give a fuck what other people feel about your opinions, whether they like it or not. You have your own voice. You do things other people may not like, and you do things other people may like as well, because you're your own person and you have your own ideas and thoughts, and you're not afraid to put them out there. All right, in a world where people will find your employer and fire you because you say things you don't like. That's fucking crazy. Hilarious, though. Other than that, though, we are completing this cycle. Okay, notice I didn't try and politicize that and say What side? The liberals and conservatives both do this. The people are fucking crazy and weird when they want to be. Now, that being said, of course, as we are completing this, what a year, in 2025, this is all preparing you for the New World Order 2026. And I'm not really shy off of saying that we're going to start the New World Order cycle March of 2026. I don't know if this go around is the push towards the one world government. That's the rumor over the next 30 years, but it's a new world cycle of order, new world order cycle. Okay, we're closing out the end game, which is the most important thing to keep in mind. The end game specifically began late 2019, all through 2020, the beginning of the end. And then, of course, we had 2021 to 2023, Saturn and Aquarius, which was the middle of the end. And then 2023 to 2025 is the end of the end. It's like the end game, the end of the end game. And then, of course, 2026, that's a brand new cycle, bro. New World Order, next 30 years. This is going to be Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta. They're getting ready to take over the next, like, half century. So, definitely hugely oversimplifying. But as this applies to Libra, the moon in Cancer will be trining Mercury and Scorpio and Mars in Scorpio, Mercury and Mars in Scorpio, and that's going to intensify more where we direct this desire and how our brains process psychoanalytically deeper beneath the surface, and that's going to draw from this moon in Cancer as it's completing this Libra cycle, breaking through the final Sagittarius signature, this final point of harvest. We're feeling not only how to challenge our social awareness with our own individual sincere feelings, but we're completing now how this wraps up this development of our character, with which has, within a short few 20 to 30 days, have applied habits we've spent the past 40 days really developing through Virgo season, really, and then 6 months since Aries season. We're going to take that into Scorpio season and intensify the depth of this psychoanalysis of our psychology and our psyche even more with Mercury that are retrograde in Sagittarius. But before that, understand we're coming into accomplishments now. We're feeling what, since that 28, 29 degree Virgo new moon we've activated, how we've applied this mastery of our habits and behavioral patterns in alignment with our belief systems. Remember, it was opposite Saturn in Pisces. Since then, the moon has gone through Pisces. It is squared to this Saturn Pisces in Gemini, and now in Cancer it will be fueling forward feelings that not only align with our belief systems, Saturn Pisces, but drive them forward. Hence the need for a moon in Gemini squaring Saturn and Pisces. We have to make sure what we are currently thinking aligns with our beliefs, because I mean, if we're thinking shit that betrays our beliefs, you're really just at war within yourself, and then you're going to feel things that don't drive forward these beliefs. So the whole moon in Gemini challenge beliefs you need to change to align with your thoughts, or thoughts that need to align with the beliefs, so that now that it's in Cancer, we can not only push that forward, but now complete how these emotions and feelings that drive forward our beliefs complete the social awareness and character with which we bring outside of ourselves towards other people, and even with ourselves towards ourselves. No one wants to deal with somebody who really not only can't think for themselves, but doesn't even know what the fuck they're thinking, saying, or want. Okay, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to even go back and forth. It's not okay to stay perpetually in a flip-flop state. So, allow this Four of Cups contemplation to break you through. Once again, some people are just devastated with receiving criticism from others. Ain't nothing wrong with receiving critique. Ain't nothing wrong with people being blunt about what they don't like. It's everything wrong with just giving away your power so that you never receive bad criticism from others. Some of you are taking what other people say too seriously because of this sense of ethos and this fake sense of credibility. People will just wave over your head, ignoring the fact that everything they're saying is stupid as fuck. It just sounds smart. A lot of people sound smart. I love sounding smart. I'll just let you know I'm dumb as fuck when I want to be too. I'll tell you I don't know shit. That's why I'm enlightened. other people like sounding smart and just selling you on the idea that they're smarter than they are. And I will always tell you, take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just my perspective. I'm giving you my Gemini perspective of these stars, not for it to be your dogma, right? But you know this shit's accurate. So do with this what you will. Please understand, a lot of people are butthurt. A lot of people, as Saturn is coming out of Pisces, Saturn in Pisces is just completely demolished whatever dreams people really lie to themselves to feel like they can come in through. I've been practicing acceptance, just like many of you here. I'm grateful for every single day, and I understand that the absolute truth of this reality lies beyond our senses. That's for goddamn sure. And that most things that you might think came as about a free will was scripted and has already been decided. Everything that's going to happen has already happened. That's just my opinion as a hard determinist. And I play the role with which I chose to before I was even born here. And I like to think I do it very well. And, we're going to keep it pushing. I know everything that I experience is my fault. I'm not blaming anyone else. The way anyone else responds to me is their karma. Everything I'm going through, I made happen. So we're going to keep it pushing like that. I have no luxury to blame other people. You would have to be powerful enough to do that. And if you hating, you a weak little bitch to me. I will never give you that power. So that being said, congratulations for completing this cycle. As the moon goes into Leo, rewards are abound. This is going to be a sneak peek of Jupiter going into Leo. Jupiter will conjunct the moon in Cancer, which will be like if you're playing Mario Kart, a rocket boost. You know how you play Mario Kart and then you have to boost and you get a speed boost? That's what this is going to be like. It's going to expand more and update of how much more powerfully you feel about things. But now how this 10th house signature, the sun in Libra, which is making a Cancer signature to the subsequent previous conjunction in Cancer, is going to begin to integrate this expansion of feelings relative to how it is you begin to account for that in these social spaces, in how much more you feel with other people, and how that must be balanced appropriately. Okay, so that's another thing to look forward to. And the grand water trine that we do experience today will help really align these three phases of your emotions: the actual function of feeling in Cancer, the depth of intensity and the quality of these feelings and wisdom in Scorpio, and then the perspective that alters your beliefs and aligns with your beliefs in Pisces, so that with that perspective, you know what direction to feel forward. Again, that's the grand water trine. Okay. Venus is going to be coming out of Virgo. It's probably in Libra by now, which is going to now apply this analysis and polishing of our habits, so that now we can polish our characters and express this sense of classic beauty. All right, the opposition of Venus towards Saturn is actually going to secure buku wealth, making sure you have stayed with integrity towards these habits that you have proven are a positive strategy or bring consistency to wealth, albeit money is the last thing you really need to worry about right now. And do expect more changes coming into Sagittarius season, and it's really just more about how you can adapt versus try and just chase some type of sustainability. Not that there won't be anything sustainable, just be ready to adapt at a moment's notice for the rest of the year. And other than that, I think this is going to be a pretty chill moon in Cancer. Yeah, maybe some drama here and there, but with Uranus, it's getting ready to retrograde back into Taurus by the time we have the full moon in Taurus during Scorpio season, which is going to be so fucking shocking to everyone. Fuck what you guys thought. Like, you go see, I'm going to be very vague on that, but just if you want, just study that full moon in Taurus. Study the conjunction we had in May at 27, 28 degrees Uranus at the end of May, like May 15th to May 20th, and then study the full moon in Taurus we're going to have. Study that 6 months in between then, and you'll get an idea of what we're getting ready to break through. For a lot of you, that's going to be wealth unimaginable. For others of you, you're going to lose everything unexpectedly. Other than that, I hope you enjoy this magic moon message. We're not there yet. This is the third quarter square. Then we're going to have the new moon in Libra. Then we're going to have the first quarter square in Aquarius with Pluto, square Scorpio. Then we're going to have that full moon on Uranus retrograded back in Taurus. Then we'll eventually have the final new moon in Scorpio. So Scorpio season is going to be spooky and it's going to be intense. And now that we're completing this Libra season, really take stock of the past 6 months, especially, and how much you've grown. There should be some subtlety to it. Like, it's not going to be as extravagant as let's say a 2026 and 2027, which is geared for Leos, by the way. Which is geared for Leo. Stay out of Leo's way. Cancer's leveling up. Stay out of Leo's way. Leo, the universe is conspiring to see Leo win, and somehow Aquarius is involved. I'm gonna be vague about that too. Be very careful. This shit is looking crazy. Anyone who tells you any of this shit is demonic, everything is demonic to them. Thinking for yourself is demonic. These people will give you anecdotal stories, but no facts, no historicity, no logic. This is something we're leaving behind us in a knowledge and information age, and you're genuinely stupid as fuck if you still believe this bullshit without actually probing and inquiring any real basis or facts behind it, which you're not dumb for believing, but you're dumb for calling other people demonic because they use their brain and think critically. This sounds fucking stupid. Like people who think zodiac signs are demons when it's really just math. When they're really just mathematical divisions. And like I say, I wasn't the biggest fan of math. I had to take calculus 1, 2, and 3. Calculus 2 still is the devil to me, but I'd never call math demonic. Maybe I should. That being said, you guys stay blessed as always. Now that we're completing this cycle, which is a part of breakthrough and harvest, you are going to be not only feeling this completion, but you're going to be sensing and being keenly aware as we close Libra season out of everything that you are breaking through. Let's not also forget the sun will be making a Scorpio signature to Saturn and Pisces, applying this change of our habits, this mastery of our habits. And over the next week, we are going to be establishing social actions, which not only apply these belief systems we've spent 6 months developing, but will now activate transformation, will actively transform the effect of these belief systems and what it has in your social environment. So look forward to seeing major breakthrough moving forward. Look forward to seeing major developments that you should be prepared to adapt to. And this is going to prepare us for the moon in Virgo, where we'll come into a final factual understanding of the real change that will lead us to the new moon in Libra, activating these superpowers that are preparing to take us into the new world. And in the meantime, seeing all sorts of relationships deteriorate that don't align with who you have accepted you are as a being that is not separate from source. People who see you as less than you are and have put you into the box of their own limited understanding, they're not gonna fuck with that. And you're gonna see perhaps indirectly or directly your relationships with them deteriorate. That's a good thing. People like that hold you back, and you're opening space up not for people who feed in your echo chamber, but for people who affirm what you truly are, whether through challenging you or whether through aligning with you. Okay, so this is Libra season, and you're going to now, at this last stage of this season, not only complete this breakthrough of a harvest that has been years in the making, but now begin to clear the way for relationships that align with who you've always meant to be, shape what you're meant to believe, and prepare for you to step into victory that was always meant to be yours. Need I remind you, the best is yet to come. Peace.